I'm so glad you're here today because this episode is something really special. What you're about to hear is a replay of a live presentation I recently gave during a writing retreat hosted by the wonderful wandering creative theirself, Arden Coutts. We dove deep into the strategy of promo stacking and how to layer your book marketing efforts to amplify your visibility, boost your rankings, and bring readers back into your world. If you're looking for a practical, energizing roadmap to sell more books and actually own your audience, you are in the right place. Grab your notebook and your favorite beverage and enjoy this behind the scenes session from the retreat. Thanks for being here.
Rebecca's going to give us kind of like a crash course or a mini course on how to craft dynamic promotional plans. I'll let Rebecca take it from here.
Thanks, Arden. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here and inspiring me to get my writing going. All right, so about promo stacking. Promo stacking is actually a really very simple concept, and it really is exactly what it sounds like. It's just the idea that we are combining promotions to basically get the most bang for our buck, right? And even though I know that a lot of people are unhappy with Amazon right now, and we could debate, all the big guys hogging the world for hours. However, as a marketing person, I believe that if you want to make a career out of your writing, regardless of how you feel about the powers that be, you really need to be on Amazon. I hate to say it, but I do believe that because it's where people go, right? Like if someone wants a book, half the time they don't even go to Google to look for the book anymore. They go directly to Amazon. I mean, there's all sorts of proof out there about that. So, but that does not mean that we want to continue to give them our money. So I'm going to share with you the way that I do promo stacking for my clients and the way that I've kind of taught my members to do that. And you're going to get this PowerPoint, so you'll have it so you can refer back to it as you want. And there's a couple like little worksheet pages at the end that you can use. And we're going to talk about, in addition to stacking your promotion, how we can then keep people purchasing from you directly versus going back to the big A, right? So we want to try to keep them working with you directly. So promo stacking basically combines multiple channels simultaneously. Look at those big words that I have in there to basically create that cascade around your book. So we want to generate maximum visibility in a short time frame, which is what a lot of people try to do when they launch their book so that they can then have those bragging rights to go, ooh, I just got #1 on my new release on Amazon. And even if that's in some really bizarre little category or keyword, right? Because that's part of your strategy is finding the keywords that you can rank the highest in and be able to do that. So each channel, if we're doing a promo stack, each channel is reinforcing the other channel, whether it's a BookBub or Hello Books promotion, your social media, your emails. So it's really just making sure that people see you across all the channels within a short period of time, again, in order to boost your sales and boost those Amazon rankings as well. So again, it really is just like what we're saying. And one of the things that you want to make sure before you set up a promo stack is that you have properly used your back matter, because if you want to get them back to you versus being on Amazon or wherever they've gotten the book, if we want to be able to guide them to where we want them to purchase, don't waste those pages at the back of your book. It's really important in that promo stack because that's how we're going to get them into your system. Regardless of where they've bought a book, you do not have their email address unless they've bought it directly from you already. So if they've gone to Barnes & Noble, Kobo, Amazon, wherever else they may have gotten it, BookBub even, and Hello Books, even though they could possibly have been emailed that promotion, like BookBub, right? You don't have that email address. BookBub has that email address. And so the way to get that to sort of boomerang back to you is by getting them to you from that back matter. And you can do it in the front too. Like some people will have a little thing in the front, like on the intro pages or whatever of the book with your website and all of that. But at the end of the book, that's where we're going to be able to really bring them back to you. So, how does it work? When you're trying to create your offer for the direct selling back to you, you're going to want to have a premium offer, maybe something that's just, a bonus for a limited time. You're going to want to have your book as, number one. You're going to want to have price incentives. So for instance, let's say I'm going to use Arden. Let's use this as an example here. So what's the name of that first book in your series, in fall series? I know I read it and I'm sorry, I forgot the name.
Fall into Midnight.
Fall into Midnight. Okay. So let's say that you want to get some more people onto your email list, right? We all want to get people into our own stratosphere because we want to be able to own our readership, not have Facebook own our readership, not have TikTok own our readers. We want our readers in our own little world. The easiest way to do a promo stack is when you have a series. You can do it with other books, but it's easier when you have a series. Here's why. We take Arden's first book, we get that marked down to be a freebie. That book gets out there. Now we're going to take that freebie and we're going to say, okay, we marked it down, but we're going to strategically do that around something like a Hello Books promotion. Everybody wants to be on BookBub, and I get that, but it's really hard to get on there and they charge $1 bazillion. You can get through other email that's really inexpensively. Like Hello Books has stuff under $50. So it really depends on your market. Okay. So let's say ours says, okay, well, first time purchasing this Hello Books promotion, right? So we know that your book is getting mailed out July 1st to, let's say, 100,000 people. Okay. All right, well, let's make sure that we get the best absolute positive bang for that buck we can. So we've chosen July 1st as that date that we are going to have our promo stack, right? July 1st. You paid for July 1st, right? This is your focus date. This is what we're going to plan your promo stack around now. It's going to be that date. So we've got that date set up and we are now going to start planning around it. Well, here's what happens next. Next, we are going to take out the little calendar and we're going to look at that surrounding dates. So, for instance, we've got our promo stack for Hello Books. The week before, we are going to launch some Amazon or Facebook or both pay-per-click type ads, okay? Don't freak out. A lot of people think that you have to spend $1 bazillion here, and you don't. You can do ads for like $1 a day. You can have very small budgets on Amazon. So what happens on Amazon is you tell them your budget and then they spread it out. On Facebook, we're going to tell them so much per day. So the week before, we're going to launch those ads for your book, and you are going to set it for free early. It has to be set for free about a week ahead so that we're sure that everybody gets it in the right spot. You're going to have it set to free. The week before, we're going to launch those ads. We're also going to start posting on any social media that you already have. And we're going to ask people to share that so that as soon as this starts happening, that it'll be ready to go. Now, what I typically do, even though the book is already marked as free, you're going to want to say, July 1st, the book's going to be free. It's coming out on Hello Books. Help me boost my sales, really ask them for their help, because if your readers are following you, they love you already and they're more than happy to help you out. And what will then happen is Amazon, specifically talking Amazon here, because that's where we're really trying to get the bragging rights at the moment, is once we have some sales going on there, they have this crazy algorithm circle, right? A few sales boost you in Amazon. So now they'll sell it to more people. Well, then if they show it to more people, you get more sales. It's just a circle, right? The more people buy, the more they show it. So we want to get into the circle. It's like the poor hamster that has that hamster wheel, like it's going to keep spinning. You want to try to jump in when you can, or like the old fashioned double Dutch jump ropes, you're trying to jump in, right? So we need to jump into that so that we get into that spin cycle and it starts happening. So we've got our books out there the week before. We're doing the ads that week before. We've got it marked to free, and we're going to start telling people about it on social media. We also want to, a few days before that would happen, email your audience and say, hey, there's going to be this special offer. Please tell everyone you know, share it on social media, yada, yada, help me out here. They will. They just do. They already like your book, so they're going to help you out. On the actual promo day, so in Arden's case here, that's July 1st, we're going to make sure very first thing that morning that another email goes out, right? And says, today's the day, get your free ebook. Make sure that you're emailing people that may already have the book, because they're going to tell other people about it. But what if they bought the hard copy of the book? They might be like, oh yeah, I really like that book. Let's put it on, my Kindle or my Nook or whatever too, in case I want to read it again. I know I have multiple copies of some of my books. There are books I have an audio version, a printed version, and, the ebook, because I'm a total book nerd, and I'm not the only book nerd out there in the world, obviously, right? Because we're all here. We love books and we love writing them too. So, give them the opportunity to do that. So again, promo day, we're emailing our list. We're asking them to please share. Today's the day, right? Then we're going to also check out to make sure our promotion is live. Keep an eye out for that email to come through from Hello Books or wherever you did it. Set up several posts for your social media to go out that day. I'm talking like a post an hour. Make sure that you are blasting it. And remember, this doesn't have to be crazy. Like, this can all be done ahead of time. So you can take past posts and just reschedule them. You can use whatever scheduler, there's free ones out there. Have it all set so that you've got something going out basically like every hour, right? If you can make the post look a little bit different just by sharing a different quote, you can have the same exact text in every post if you wanted to, but just share a different quote, a different graphic, whatever it takes, right? Share a picture of you holding the book up. So get it out there all over the place. And if you're inclined, go live on some of those social media channels too and say, hey, today's the day, help me out, share it with a friend, yada, yada. So anything that you can do on your focused promo day to get that extra oomph, right? If you have texts, text your friends, text your besties, text any groups that you're in and say, hey, today's the day, let's share this. If you have other authors that you do things with, ask them if they wouldn't mind emailing their list that day. Tell them that your book is going to be free that day. They may be more than happy to email for you. So do everything you can on that day. The other thing that's going to happen is, like we talked about that hamster wheel for Amazon, if we are able to use your promo day, use your promo stack effectively, Amazon is going to keep showing it for a few days. Most authors, when they're doing a promo stack or when they have gotten into a BookBub, a Hello Books, one of those promotions, they will see an uptick in their sales for several days, sometimes even for a whole month. So this could be just the kickoff, right, to kind of get that going. And so you want to continue, at least for like the next several days after your focus day, continue some extra social promotion if you can. Continue that ad spend for a few days if that's possible. Maybe get a guest spot on a podcast somewhere within this like 2-week time frame before and the week of. Leverage those partnerships with other authors and groups as much as you can, because this is your time that you're shining, right? This is when we really want to make sure that we are able to do that. And so going through, and again, you're going to have these sheets. Once the person, you have your little plan together, once they get your book, this is when that back matter is going to become really key. So they've gotten your book for free. They loved your book, right? They want more because they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I got this for free. I have to follow Lindsay for the rest of my life, right? So they're going to get to the back, and you need to be able to tell them how to find you, not how to get to you on Amazon or how to find you, back through Hello Books. You want to use links and QR codes to get them on your email list. You may want to offer them something juicy at the back of your book. I don't know, all sorts of bonuses. You could do a playlist. You could collect their email. Like, a big thing is we want to be able to collect their email when they get to the back of their book. I've seen authors have the second book be free as well, but only if they got it through this at the back of the book. I think that is genius, because there's no other way to get book 2 for free unless you were getting it directly from the back of Carly's book, for instance, right? So if you have at the back of your book, go here, you can get book 2 right now for free, but only via me directly. Hello, of course they want to get book 2 for free, and you've scored them now on your email list. You could offer them bonus chapters. You can offer them, the sneak peeks. A lot of times you'll see a peek of the next book back there. But do what you can to really use that back matter to get them to just stay in your stratosphere, get them to stay wanting more, and get them into your system. Because again, social media, that's all rented ground out there. Your email list is your email list. Whether you change from one email company to another, you're able to download your email list and put it into that new program. So that's your list. You can't do that on Facebook. If Facebook blocks you out all of a sudden, and they do sometimes, you've lost all your people. I mean, you don't, all of a sudden they're like, well, where they go, right? There's nothing you can do about it half the time. So let's use that back matter to get it going. So crafting that direct offer, again, you want to be able to have some premium offers, bonuses, limited time, whatever you can do, right, to get that to happen. You may offer a coupon code. It depends on what your direct sales is set up like. I know some websites can let you do coupon codes and things like that. So you could put something special in the back of the book to get them directly to you. Just because they got that first book, just because they got book 1 from Amazon, let's just use that as the example because it's the big ugly elephant in the room. Let's say they got your first book from Amazon, doesn't mean they have to get the rest of them there. Now we're going to take them to you. So sure, they got that first book on Amazon, but now if they want the good stuff, if they want the juicy stuff, they have to come to you. This is not available on Amazon. You can even put that in there. This is not available on Amazon exclusively by purchasing directly through me, right? So get it juicy, make sure that it's good, right? And when you're doing this promo stack, I encourage you to plan your promotion and your channels. Pick the percent of time and effort based on what's already working. If you already know that LinkedIn is useless for selling your books, don't put extra time into that for this, right? Like, if you have one of those agency schedulers like I do, where you can just click an extra button and you're setting up your social post, great, by all means, go ahead. I'm suggesting that you don't put extra effort and time in there. So you're going to go through what you already have, and you're going to want to, use that to the best available time and capacity for you. So if you have time and you are willing and able to go live on social media, then pick the channel or channels that you already have a following, that you already know have been effective for you in the past. Because that day, that's really important. If you pick the wrong channel and you don't go live on the good channel, then you're missing out. So you're going to want to pick the ones that you already know are the best ones. And so when you're getting down in there and you are selling direct, this I know looks extremely small to you, but you again will have this PDF. The basic concept is, we've used all the promotions of the stack to get them into your book. So we've got book 1, just using it because the series is the easiest way to do it. Now, once we've gotten them to that book, you have to pull them in to your world. So once we've gotten them to that, back matter is where we're now going to take it and we're going to get them to your world. So we're talking playlists. You could give them stickers. Hey, buy from me. You get it. I know Arden, you said you send out cutesy things. If someone buys a book, they could get the signed copies that way. You could send them book club questions. You could offer a Zoom chat. I've seen offers where authors will say, if you buy, the bundle, buy the 3-book pack, I'll set up a Zoom chat with your book club. Why not, right? Deleted scenes, chapters, whatever you need to do at the back to get them in there. So in general, your promo stacking action plan is you're going to define that core offer, right? Which is going to be, okay, book 1 for free, July 1st via Hello Books. Boom. That's my focus, right? Then you're going to select your channels. You're going to look at all the promotional channels you're currently in. You're going to decide where you already have presence and engagement. You're going to build that timeline that we talked about earlier. The week before, you're going to do this stuff. Then you're going to do this stuff. And then you're going to follow through on all of those little bits and pieces. You're going to make sure that your social posts go out there when they're going. And then you're going to look back at those results to see what happened. Now, here's what I've seen work out really nicely for some people and be really fun. The last time I ran a Hello Books promotion, and it's been a few months for someone, they were letting you do a promotion every 3 months, and you get to pick your dates and everything. So it was really fun. Like, they have it set up. You look through the calendar, so you could pick it if you wanted to, Carly. You could pick it around, your promo. You could pick it around your launch date. If you wanted to launch a new book, then you could do your Hello Books could do that. But you pick the dates, and they were letting you do one every 3 months. So how at the beginning I said that Amazon keeps showing you, and a lot of people will still have that momentum going for about a month. Well, 2 months later, you could do another promo, especially if you're using something inexpensive like that and you're getting that all going. So it's a way to kind of keep those sales, kind of higher versus lower, and really get that follow through going. And really, again, working people into your system, your stratosphere, your world, because, we don't want them to be in that rented ground. And so that is really important. I'm going to show you what else is in here real quick, and then we'll see what questions you guys might have. Jumping to the end real quick, I have a couple of sheets in here that if you wanted to print out or whatever, you could. Thinking about where you're currently promoting, and there's some lines for you to think about where your current promotions are. Think about what your focus date and the item are for your promo stack. So going back to Arden as the example, the first book, July 1st, that's your thing on Hello Books, and then building it around there. And then there's the last page is planning it out. There's space for you to write the actual dates, what you're doing, where it's going to be, and the cost. So using that example again, if we have your Hello Books promotion, you're going to have it as an email. Let's say it costs $39. Underneath here, you can write the other stuff out, the other promos you have. Okay, well, social media posts are going these days. My email's going to go this day. I'm going to do a Facebook ad from the 1st through the 4th. I'm going to do this here. And then when you're done, you could go back with a red pen, make notes, what worked, what didn't, so that moving forward. Because if the Facebook ad doesn't work for you, or an Amazon ad doesn't really do anything, you either want to do it differently next time, do a little bit of testing beforehand, or just skip it all together. So there are some worksheets in here, like I said, that will help you kind of figure it out. And of course, this is kind of like, the quick and dirty version, but it really is just what it sounds like. It's just stacking everything within a few days so that you're just putting some extra effort out there on those few days to make sure that you're really pulling them in. And again, the goal is, for me, what I'm doing from the marketing side of the world on this concept is I'm wanting you to be able to claim some sort of, I was in the top 10 on Amazon. I got to number 1 on Amazon. Now, I want you to have some bragging rights. And I really want you to get them onto your email list. And then, of course, I want you to make sales because that's the ultimate, but that's really what you're going after, right? So you want those sales. And if we do it right, we can do all of those things at once. And then I don't know if you all know your follow through purchases, but a lot of authors do track, well, if 100 people read book 1, how many go to book 2? How many go to book 3? I know there's charts and graphs that can help you figure that out. But if we can get them in, then they're going to just keep on going all the way down your list and finish your series. So we may have just dropped a couple $100 if you had somebody help you or you had ads, but they may end up buying three or more books from you, not just, this one original book. So it's just really being strategic and planning it out and getting it all on paper and right in front of you there. It's a lot easier when you're planning it to just look through, go, okay, this step, this step, this step, write it out, this step, this part. And then those sheets at the end, if you decided you wanted to print those out to help you mark it all out. And that's really it. I mean, that's kind of the gist of promo stacking. Do you have questions? Are your brains exploding? Is there something that you may have an idea or thought on regarding promo stacking or need a little help working through?
Yeah, does it matter how old the book is?
No, that's really a great question because I've seen a lot of people use this concept to jumpstart their backlist. So you could take entitled, and try to get them into that first book because remember, when you're doing this, a lot of these people aren't already in your world. So especially if you put a little of the money into it for like some Amazon or Facebook ads, we're going to target people that we know are your demographic, but that doesn't mean they're already following you. So yeah, it does not matter how old the book is. That's a good question.
If you were looking at starting much further back in the process,
Okay.
what would be some of your sort of real beginners starter points?
Sure. I can tell you a few of those. I have a 10-step ebook on the first things. Do you already have social media set up for your business at all, or you?
No, I've come off all social media a number of years ago, and yeah, I think I'm still struggling with the knowledge that there's no way to sell without social media, but I know like how much of an impact it was having on me. I think I would start probably with like business-based social media, so nothing personal, nothing.
I think that's great. And I know that both Arden and Jess are in Patreon, and Arden is on Substack. Are you on Substack at all or LinkedIn? Because a lot of people feel that way about social media or they'll take social media breaks. Substack is becoming extremely popular with authors. And you said you're writing poetry, right?
Yeah, poetry and short stories.
Okay. And that's a very literary group on Substack. So I would imagine that you could, if you wanted to just take a baby step and get your feet wet on being a little, I don't know about the rest of you, but in Substack, I don't find that hate and vitriol that you see on some of the other ones. It feels very welcoming to me. I think if you start there, that would be a lovely place to start to get some people, start by following other authors. You don't even have to post anything. Just start some conversations with other authors in Substack. Follow some other authors. You know what I mean? That's a good way to do it. The other thing that you could do, I mean, obviously you want to have an email list at some point, right? Because especially if you don't like social media. There are other authors who don't like social media either. And you don't have to live on there. I mean, you could very possibly just be in Substack and maybe do okay. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily have to jump into the other spots. And like you said, you can be on some of those and just show book stuff as far as the promotions go. The other thing you could do is consider getting on some podcasts. So that is a great way to really get your name out there and not have to do the social media. A lot of my clients I've worked with who I've helped them get onto podcasts before, will find that they get more followers, especially more followers and more people on their email list, because I would encourage you to have some sort of freebie to give away via that podcast that you're going to be on. It could be like a little collection of a chapter or two, a little sneak peek, right? Getting on some podcasts is a good way to get your name out there. And then the bonus in that is that those people are advertising you on social media, even if you're not on there. I mean, for instance, I have a podcast. I just started a podcast this year. And what I've been doing is I do video and audio if you're comfortable with the video. When I interviewed Arden, I think, Arden, you were one of my first guests, if not the first guest, right? You were one of the first guests. I think we got like 20 little video clips from that, like 20 video clips from the podcast thing. So I reuse those. Like I've actually got them in a little hopper that I keep sharing. I had the podcast, I talked about it before the show. We dropped the show. I talked about it after the show on all my social media channels, including YouTube. So there was both an audio and video version. And then it also goes out on email. So what I did was I then took it and put it in my blog. And so the blog automatically sent it out. And I also did some additional emails and said, hey, I interviewed author Arden Coots and here's their stuff, blah, blah, blah. And so if Arden wasn't even on social media, they'd have had plenty of people hearing about them without even being on social media directly. Now, would it help you more if I could say, find them on Facebook? Yeah, it would. But there's no reason to, ultimately, Lindsay, writing a book and being an author, this is your business and you get to do it your way. And if your way does not include social media, then don't do it. Don't do it. If it doesn't make you happy, you know what I mean? Don't do it. It's okay. I mean, I'm not here to tell you, you have to do it this way or that way. I am all about, I turned 55 this year, and when I turned 50, I kind of reached the point of, this is my life. How much of it's left at this point? Right? Like, do it my way. So, yeah, you don't want to be on social media, don't do it. But you have to be somewhere. You have to be somewhere, obviously, right? I mean, you could a Hello Books or BookBub promotion and not have any of that out there. They just won't be able to get to you, but you could tell them how to find you still at the end of the book. You could still pull them into a direct line to you at the end without any social media. I think at least getting on the podcast, if you're comfortable enough, like I said, I do video, but if someone told me they didn't want to be on video, I would still put it on YouTube, but I would just have like a slide or something. You know what I mean? So it would still be there. I just wouldn't show your face if you didn't want to. So it's just like having a nice conversation, right? So there's definitely ways to do it. If you're comfortable getting on social media, I would say start there. Just dip your toes, follow other people. You don't even have to post a thing. God bless you. If at the very least, test out Substack, and are the rest of you on Substack? Like, I know I'm on there. I'm not really posting anything, but you'll find a lot of fun stuff on there. Start somewhere like that. Dip your toe just a little bit and get going. And like I said, we'll make sure you get that 10-step ebook because it's got like a little checklist of sort of the pathway that we follow in the membership. And you're certainly welcome to come join us.
Thank you. That's really helpful. Yeah, totally.
I'm bad at giving too many ideas and exploding brains, so I'm really sorry if that happens. I just get so excited because I have so much passion for what I'm doing. And again, having read my whole life, starting with Nancy Drew, reading has got me through some tough times in my life. And so I want every author to go and get their books out. I want to read them all.
I was thinking about when you had suggested me to get on Book Funnel and doing my first chapters in the collab.
Yeah.
And how they have a bunch of lists of different stuff.
Oh, yeah, you can get Book Funnel for a whole year for $20. And just doing that, you can go through and there are all sorts of promotions that people are doing and collaborations that people are doing. So definitely getting in on something like that is another good way to be able to get in front of other people without using the social media. Arden has done, at the end of last year, Arden did a really cool thing with the holidays. Each author that was part of the collaboration, oh, Arden, I have the book right here. Each author that was a part of the collaboration did a holiday story, and they all kind of went together, and then everyone did it. But you can see it's like it was short, but they all had a similar look. What did you have? Like 11 authors that worked together on that? That was such a great idea. I mean, this isn't a very long book, but each author then is able to get their own information rather than someone having to distribute it all. But stuff like that is in BookFunnel. And then Jess and Arden both are doing something really cool, which is another way to do it without really having social media, I think, is either via Substack or something like Patreon. You can put out pieces at a time. So Carly was telling us about how she had done the old school forums. Is that right, Carly? The old forums, like I don't know, Lindsay, I can't tell how old you are because you look about this big to me, but old school forums before Facebook, like
On the forums, yeah.
yeah, like really did pieces at a time. You can do that in Patreon and in Substack. People are doing that on the free Substack even. Like they'll put up, a chapter at a time and get feedback, or you can put up a poem. That would be a great way to get people into your world and start sharing. I mean, you want to send me stuff, I'm happy to share stuff for you.
Kind of like, do you know Wattpad?
Do you think it's similar to Wattpad? It's been a long time since I've been in Wattpad. Is Wattpad, I thought you did a whole book at a time, no?
I think in Wattpad you can do either a chapter at a time or a whole book if you want to. But yeah, it's pretty similar. Like I do 2 chapters a week for one book and 1 chapter a week for the other one. And just do short stories. I share some poems every now and then.
And your podcast stuff.
Yeah,
Your
podcasts, video, a little bit of everything. I give previews to my YouTube videos before I put them up on YouTube. So you can do quite a bit of stuff over on Patreon. And I mean, I think for authors, it definitely takes a while to build a following over there. But if you're willing to share like artwork's really popular when it comes to author, like character art and stuff like that. But I do think poetry does a little better on Patreon than just chapters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about Substack? Because are you doing well on there? Because I've seen you've had video on there and stuff too. Would both of those you think be a good place to get into and just start conversations if you don't want to do social media? Because I feel like they would, but I don't know. I'm so biased toward social media since it's fed me for years. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Substack's a great spot to start, kind of like what Rebecca was saying. You just got to find it's all about the algorithm. So the more authors you like, the more authors will find you, and then the more folks you'll have to connect with. But I like Substack. I've had pretty good luck over there. I don't have essentially just do everything for free. I don't do paid stuff, but it's essentially like a newsletter that you get to build out. So
yeah, which is great. It's a great way to. It's like, are you familiar with LinkedIn's newsletter feature at all? So LinkedIn has a newsletter feature. Substack actually copied off of LinkedIn for that. Like Substack became Substack because they saw what LinkedIn did with this. So LinkedIn has a newsletter feature, and what happens is basically it's the same thing as Substack. Someone could subscribe to your newsletter on LinkedIn, which just looks like normal social media, right? But it's all businessy. And what happens is if you subscribe to the newsletter on LinkedIn, you get sent the newsletter, right? So like I go in and I publish a new edition of my newsletter on LinkedIn, everyone gets it on their email. I don't have those email addresses. So it's kind of nice for the reader because they don't feel like they have to give you their email, right? But yet you still get into their inbox, which is a great way to get in there if you don't technically have their email. But you can still in that newsletter say, hey, do you want this, that, the other? You can still do the same thing that I was suggesting to do at the end of your book, especially like your book hasn't come out yet, right? So you could do what I was talking about for the end matter in a newsletter instead for now to get your list going. That would be a great way to get your list going without having a book to start with, right? Because I don't have any books out, and that's basically how I've gotten mine out. I've been in other people's summits, I've been in other people's bundles and things like that. And that's how I've grown my newsletter list. I mean, I've also been in business for myself for like 15 years. So it's taken a while. I mean, but I didn't do anything major. Like it's just literally all just trickled in. I don't have anything paid. I haven't paid for anything to get those people on my list. And so it's all organic. And you could do that in Substack or LinkedIn. Because I know for authors, I mean, all small businesses, budget's always a factor, right? Like it's a thing. But we're not J.K. Rowling here. So, yeah. Right, Arden? Yeah.
In any way. Definitely not. Yeah, and I think the cool thing with Substack too is you can export and import. So if you already have an email list and you don't want to have two newsletters going, you can mesh them together and just do one.
Thank you.
So that's a plus. But I'll be honest, I'm still figuring Substack out. But so far it's been an interesting place to go and see what the bookish community is like.
Does it feel friendlier to you? I mean, a lot of people don't like Facebook because of all the political, hatred. I guess is just what I'm looking for. And I've heard a lot of people say that Substack just feels friendlier, not,
Yeah, I think if you get your algorithm right, I think you're in a good spot. Like I only see other authors on my feed, and
Oh my
that's
my feed is all ADHD people and menopause women. It is so funny. It is so funny because like you get pegged, and I'm like, well, now you follow this one. Oh, well, that sounds good, and and I mean, I have a bunch of authors too, actually, but it's just kind of funny.
I did want to go back real quick to podmatch.com because I dabble in Podmatch a lot, which I guess means I don't really dabble. I'm on Podmatch frequently. I do 2 to 3 podcasts a month over there, and I've had really good luck with finding good matches and kind of getting the word out there about my books through those podcasts. I would say if folks would be interested in learning more about podcasting, let me know. I can always put it together a sheet or something and send it out. But I will say, think a little bit outside the box about what you can talk about. So let's say you write about plants, but like what else can we talk about, right? Like how does that relate to how you grew mental health or the environment? So look for podcasts that touch on all of those topics, not just writing podcasts. Like I talk a lot about mental health and gender identity, and do a lot of podcasts about those items or those things, and kind of just say, oh, and this is represented in my books as well. Like I kind of just tag the book on at the end. So yeah, think a little bit outside of just the immediate topic that you have in your book when you are looking for podcasts.
Yeah, and Carly was on a horror podcast. Carly was you were hosting for a while. I know that's coming to an end, but for several years, right, Carly? Like it had nothing to do with your books.
Yep. Absolutely nothing to do with my books because, I write contemporary romance and social issue driven drama. I don't write horror. I was the odd one out, but it was fun.
That is fun. Now hopefully all those people are following you somewhere along the way. Or maybe we can get little plugs in for you before the show ends. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm more than happy to hop on a call or anything if folks want to learn more about podcasting. Maybe that's a future topic that we cover at a future retreat. But I had a podcast for 4.5 years, so I'm pretty familiar with both sides.
So fun. I love the whole. Yeah, I've worked on podcasts since 2019, but I've been on podcasts, but this is my first time doing my own. And Arden helped me produce some of the episodes too. So yeah, it's more work than people think, I think, though. Some people think it's just, and it's all, I guess, how you do it. I mean, you could just throw something up on YouTube and call it a podcast, I guess, but it's my turn.
All right. Do we have any other questions for Rebecca? No? Going once, going twice. Awesome. Rebecca, thank you so, so much.
Thank you.
I feel like I understand promo stacking a lot better now than I did before.
Good. You guys you can always send me a note too. All my info's in there, so feel free. Feel free, hit me up.
Yeah, and a little plug for the Authors Roundtable. It's a fun little group to be a part of and to meet and chat about all these topics like on a weekly basis. So would recommend checking it out. 5 out of 5 stars.
That's all for this episode of Authors Allies. We hope you enjoyed our exploration of the literary world. Be sure to stay tuned for our next episode where we'll have more fascinating interviews, book reviews, and marketing tips. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Leave us a review and share us with a friend. To get your free copy of our ebook, 10 Steps to Your Ultimate Book Marketing Plan, be sure to head over to our show notes. Until next time, happy reading and writing.